So it is Friday, December 20th, and I don't even know where to start. Okay, so while I do want to talk about the crisis being averted, the crisis that they made because there was already something in place that was bipartisan, had been worked on for months. The president was ready to sign it, and they tanked it for their own agenda. And at the end of the day, they didn't get any of the things that they tanked the original thing for. Waste of time, waste of money, scared the shit out of everyone, exposed their hand. Okay, first boyfriend exposed how scared he is of getting caught. And we got to see the smelly one realize that everyone is laughing at him and calling him VP Smelly. And, he's not taking too well to that. So now we're watching this contest between the two of them and their egos. And we watched an entire party bow to the biggest billionaire didn't even matter if they have any actual authority or power or role. A billionaire said, don't do it. And they all said, okay. So, that was very encouraging, but we'll deal with that later. Oh, and of course, all the lies, like the fact that this guy just said there's a 40% raise increase in that bill. And everyone just took that and ran. And still now I'm fighting people in my comments going, well, any raise they don't deserve. I'm like, oh, you are so fucking missing the point. Y'all are real good at picking something tiny that doesn't really matter and then blowing that thing up. I don't care if you agree on whether they should have a raise or not, and the minimum wage and their stocks and trading. That's not the discussion, okay? In the gist of the entire bill, you all got pissed because you thought they were asking to practically double their salaries, and that's not what it was. It was not even a 4% raise, and I think they haven't gotten it since '09. Again, I'm not saying whether they deserve it or not, but this thing where they're like, well, it should have been tanked over that. Okay, Ruski. All right. So, but let's talk about Miss Ma'am. Okay. And this flashing lights motorcade that was Thursday evening, because we still haven't heard anything about it outside of the bots trying to convince us that it didn't happen, that the footage was old. Let's see what else. She was being brought in for a tiebreaker, which, doesn't even apply to the House. That this is just protocol when a shutdown is looming. It's not. That it's normal for the motorcade to roll through town with all its lights flashing at top speed. That's just normal. That's protocol. No, it's not. They were really grasping in my comments today. Still are. And, she heard there was an open bar. I've been hearing a lot of suddenly this hint that she's an alcoholic thing has become a new theme I'm seeing in my bot comments. They're just doing it because they want their paycheck. There are all these weak ass excuses. But for those of us that were watching live, and you could, oh my God, you could even see it on the White House, live feed. It did happen. Joe Biden's okay. There was no medical emergency. They are not going to install her. He's not going to step down. I've already told you it's too controversial. They're not going to do that. But I do believe that it has something to do with that executive order report. I do think that they either already had it or maybe it came in last night and confirmed some things. We don't know. We won't know 100% when it will be released to the public. That's kind of at the sitting administration's discretion. But they do have to discuss the findings with the legislature if they want to take action. So part of the reason why first boyfriend was wanting a shutdown so much wasn't just the things he wanted to get out of it, but he was hoping a shutdown would slow down the investigations because every three-letter agency is looking into him right now. Well, maybe not every, but a lot of them from every aspect, okay? From his past communications, his connections to other countries, his government contracts, his, what else? He couldn't get his DOD clearance. I know the Air Force wants to look into him. He couldn't get his clearance due to an unconfirmed, drug use. They didn't say what substance, but, probably one of the ones that's okay when you're rich, but when you're one of us, people go, hey, you're a problem. So probably one of those ones. Hold on, my garden stick went out. Wait a minute. Okay, all right, better. So, we had the White House press briefing today, and the White House correspondent did not she didn't have a direct answer for what it was last night. I believe she was asked, and her response was something along the lines of, oh, I don't have an answer for that. You would have to ask her what that's about. So it obviously happened. Okay, it was asked about during the White House briefing. So that's how you know that those are bots or people living under rocks, okay? It did happen, and we don't know why. We haven't gotten a statement from either side. We're just getting kind of these updates on what's going on, and all of their activities, I think, that were laid out currently are closed to the press. So I think we're going to see a rug pull soon. I think that what we have seen is that this takeover attempt has no bottom. These people have, there's no low point that they won't go to. There's nothing too sacred. There's nothing off limits for them when it comes to doing what they want and getting what they want. You have someone who has never known struggle or working class life, okay, aiming to run the world as a toy, talking about how he wants to throw his support and money behind other Putin-aligned parties in other countries, Germany, UK, to do the same thing he's done here, purchase it. And now he's got puppets here, puppets there. And like I said on my TikTok, I believe that his strategy here is to kind of backdoor the smelly one and steal his other boyfriend, Putineska, away. And this is him, and he needs it. He's going to need a place to run to. He's not going to be safe here. There's too much heat. And this shit that he just pulled, I mean, not only does it expose the party for what they really are, but so much shit he's been doing. No, it's not legal. And the reason no one's been saying anything is because they're just seeing how long this dude... Look, it's like when you leave the kids alone with like ice cream sundae shit, and you're like, all right, don't touch it. And like, sure, they'll leave it alone for a while, but you give them long enough, they feel comfortable. They start fucking with it. They make a little bit of they taste a little bit. You let them keep going, and next thing you know, they're having a fucking party. They're smearing it everywhere because they forgot, there's no adults in the room. But the whole time you're sitting over there just watching, timing, waiting. And that's where we're at. We're kind of at the part where they're realizing or have realized that adults have been watching and seeing how far they're willing to go, and realizing that, oh shit, they're willing to do anything. And he realized, I just tipped my hand. And maybe the fact that I've been able to get away with so much is because they just wanted to see if I was greedy enough and narcissistic enough to not realize that it was just a trap. Like, there was no obstacle. There was nothing standing in his way. And his obsession, his thought is just that he's just that wonderful, and everyone's just that scared of him. That's why no one's getting in the way of all his illegal activities that he's doing. And yeah, I feel like he's probably on lists with a few places, a few countries, a few people. So yeah, I think he's going to try to show what he has to offer to Putineska. He can throw money over here. He can help him with his little League of Red Justice that they're trying to rebuild. But, he's going to have to help him out and give him a place to hide, because things might not be going so hot here in this place where they just, purchased our last test and are not getting away with it. I guess a key reminder for everyone is to take the word that was left from leadership in terms of trying to enjoy the holiday. At least we don't have to worry about all the TSA crunch and the shutdown that one party really, really wanted, to the point where they were trying to convince people that, yeah, you should want this. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And had their bots echoing it as well, along with the bots echoing sentiments for, certain people for speaker, etc. So they can bypass background checks and election, anyway, don't get too fixated on exact expectations, exact dates, or precedents, because none of this shit, this is crazy. So we don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. All right. Just hang in there. Get your garden stick. All right. Just hang in there. It's coming.